This really brings to mind something that we should just, cover. And this is something that for the techies in our audience, this is going to be old hat. But remember, this is cybersecurity for everybody. So let's just go over some basic rules of good passwords. Because again, you're going to need to create at least a couple of really good passwords that you use. If for nothing else, you're top tier getting into the most important sorts of sites, like getting into your password manager account, getting into your bank, even before they send you the SMS text or whatever to give you strong authentication. So, okay, rule number 1. Don't use any word that could be found in any dictionary or any common keyboard walk, like QWERTY. Rule number 1. Rule number 2. Do not have a password that's shorter than 8 characters. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, anything that's less than 8 characters, even if it's fairly random, can be brute forced pretty quickly. And on that note of brute forcing, I know a lot of folks are going to think, well, hey, if I type in the wrong password 3 times, the system locks, right? Yeah, that's true at the application layer. But in the data, you can still brute force the original source, run a hash against it, and then look at the hash to see if it matches up the password hash, which may have been collected in intercepted communication. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to brute force the application. You can brute force the password and then send it to the application. So don't think that just because the application gives you 3 strikes and you're out, that means you can't brute force the password. It doesn't quite work like that. So you got to use a long password.
Dictionary text, using tables, you're using rainbow tables, right? Specifically with regards to hashing, that's a big thing. So absolutely. All right, Mike's rule number 3. What do you got?
Rule number 3. Do not limit your password to letters, but mix the case of letters, mix in numbers, and mix in some special characters. Just think about that mathematically, right? There are 26 letters in the English alphabet, but computers are case sensitive. So when we use mixed case, we've doubled our character set from 26 to 52, just like that. Add in the numbers, now you're up to 62. Add in another 10 special characters, you're up to 72. So now you have a base 72 character set. Base 72. Now do the math. Let's say you have 10 characters in a base 72. Do the math, and you'll see that the number of possible combinations in even something as short, which we would consider too short. 10 characters is also too short. We really want to see upwards of 12. But the thing is, just doing the math, if you're using a mixed case alphanumeric with symbols, a base 72 character set, well, that's going to be, darn near impossible to brute force in a rational period of time.
It will take millions and millions of years to do that. And I won't need my password after a million years. So
yeah, that's about right. Because those numbers are big, big numbers. And like I said, if you're up to like 16, 17 characters, you're talking 16 characters to the 72nd power. Yeah, you're definitely looking at a lot of possibilities, which is good. That's what we want. All right, so that's rule number 3. So rule number 4: do not use any number, word, address, character set, anything that can be derived from your personal life. Not your name backwards, not a member of your family, not your mother's maiden name, not your home address, not your social security number, any information that could be identifiable to you, what we would generally call personally identifiable information. Nothing that would be in your set of personally identifiable information should ever be used as your password, ever. And then that brings us to rule number 5. Make sure you can remember the password. And the funny thing about rule number 5 is rule number 5 seems like It's impossible given rules number 1 through 4. But with a little thinking, with a little technique, you can do this. And the idea is to turn your password into chunks of things that you can remember. Chunks of things that you can remember. Now, remember, the entire password can't be a word in the English or any dictionary, foreign language dictionary. It shouldn't be a word at all. But that's the whole password. That doesn't mean that you couldn't have a sequence of characters inside of a 16-character password that would be a word. You can do that. The thing is to be tricky about it and not just to use the word as either the beginning or the end, but maybe to use it somewhere in between. Now, if you really want to get slick with it, you can take numbers, words, interleave them. In other words, let's say you had a 7-digit phone number and an 8-character word that you remembered. You might start with a lowercase of the first letter of the word and then hold the shift key for the first number. By holding the shift key, let's say the first number was the number 2, well, that would give you the @ sign. The next letter, since the first letter was lowercase, maybe the second letter would be capitalized of the word. And then you alternate. Now the next number is actually a digit. And then you go to the third letter in the word. And this time you hold the shift key on the next digit. Maybe it's a 5, which gives you a % sign. You get the idea. You're interleaving the characters. You're using, in this case, an ABAB, or actually an ABBA shift key pattern. And you're coming up with a password that's going to be 15 characters long because you got a 7-digit number and an 8-character word interleaved together. You can remember it because you're only really remembering 2 things and an approach to doing it. In this case, you're using the ABBA pattern. And now you have a very complex password based on 2 things that you can remember, and you can use it over and over again. And if you want to throw a keyboard walk somewhere into the mix, that's fine, so long as it's not the whole thing. Let's say you want to expand on some of the numbers in there. Maybe for the third number in the sequence, you'll go vertically down the keyboard from that number. Let's say the third number in the sequence is the number 5. Well, then that would give you 5. Let me look at the keyboard here. TGB. Throw that into the mix. If you have that as a formula, just add a little spice. That would also give you an extra 3 characters, going from a 15 character word to now an 18 character, because you're throwing in a couple of keyboard walks in there. And now you have something that was very simple to remember, complex to execute. You could do this over and over again because, many systems you need to change your password on a cyclical basis, and we always want you to do that. In fact, that's rule number 6. Don't keep the same password indefinitely. Change your passwords periodically. But if you use this formula for generating your passwords, you just need a word, a number. If you throw some keyboard walks in there, just remember your pattern of when you do that. And you can move from password to password on a regular basis without killing yourself.
Thanks for watching this clip of the Cyber Guys podcast. If you like this video, be sure to drop us a like and leave us a comment to let us know what you thought. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more great content like this. By subscribing, you'll be the first to know when we upload a new video, and you'll never miss out on the latest Cyber Guys updates. Take it easy out there. Remember, stay safe, be secure, be sure. We'll see you next time.